The night pressed down on the city like a held breath, and somewhere between the glow of glass towers and the silence of empty offices, two lives were about to collide in a way neither of them could escape. A single father, exhausted beyond pride, stood at the edge of a decision that could break him. At the same time, a powerful CEO, admired by the world and envied by many, faced a cruel truth that no amount of money could fix. One condition would be set tonight, and it would change everything. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet power of human connection, please like this video, comment, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel. And tell us in the comments where you are watching from, because stories like this connect hearts across the world. Ethan Carter had learned how to move through life quietly. Since the death of his wife 3 years earlier, silence had become both his enemy and his shield. He was a single father to a 6-year-old boy named Noah, a child with curious eyes and a fragile heart that still asked where his mother had gone. Ethan worked nights as a private security consultant for high-profile clients, not because it paid well, but because it allowed him to be home during the day. Every choice he made revolved around one small boy and the promise he had whispered to a hospital room that no longer held the woman he loved. He would not fail their child. That promise was being tested now. Medical bills for Noah's rare heart condition were stacking higher than Ethan's ability to pretend everything was fine. Insurance covered only a portion, and the upcoming surgery carried a cost that felt impossible. Ethan sold his car, then his watch, then pieces of his past he never thought he would part with. Still, it was not enough. The weight of that knowledge followed him everywhere, including into the towering headquarters of Aurora Biotech, where he had been assigned temporary overnight security for a special executive crisis. Charlotte Kingsley had built Aurora Biotech from a desperate idea into a global empire. She was known in business magazines as ruthless, brilliant, and untouchable. What the headlines never showed was the empty penthouse, the framed photos of awards instead of family, and the legal document hidden in her safe that threatened to take everything away. Her late father's will contained a condition she had ignored for years, believing she could outsmart time itself. The controlling family trust required her to produce an heir within a strict window, or control of the company would transfer to distant relatives who had never believed in her vision. The deadline had arrived, and with it, panic she could no longer hide. On this night, Charlotte sat alone in her office long after the city slept, staring at contracts and legal opinions that all said the same thing. Power meant nothing without continuity. She needed a baby, not for love, not for companionship, but to protect the company that employed thousands and funded life-saving research. The cruel irony was not lost on her. She could cure diseases but could not control her own fate. Ethan noticed the change in the building immediately. Increased security protocols, sealed elevators, and an energy of tension that hummed through the halls. When he finally crossed paths with Charlotte, he saw past the tailored suit and confident posture to the exhaustion beneath. She noticed him too, not as a nameless guard, but as a man who carried something heavy and invisible. In the quiet of that office, without witnesses or pretense, the truth came out in fragments and silences rather than spoken lines. Charlotte explained her situation not with arrogance, but with raw urgency. She needed a solution that the law would accept and that the board would not question. A private arrangement. Controlled. Discreet. Ethan listened, stunned, his mind rejecting the implications even as his heart understood the desperation behind them. When she looked at him with that careful, searching expression, he realized she had already made her choice. Ethan set his condition that night, not from greed, but from survival and principle. Any arrangement would place Noah first. Medical care guaranteed, security ensured, and a future that did not involve secrets that would poison a child's sense of self. He would not sell his dignity, but he would bend the rules of his own fear if it meant saving his son. Charlotte, for the first time in years, felt something close to humility. She agreed without hesitation, understanding that this man's love for his child was not a weakness, but a strength she had never learned. What followed was not easy or clean. Rumors whispered through the company as Charlotte announced a personal sabbatical. Legal teams worked tirelessly to structure an agreement that protected everyone involved. Ethan struggled with guilt, wondering if he was betraying the memory of his wife or simply doing what any parent would do when cornered by fate. Noah sensed the changes without understanding them, and Ethan held him tighter at night, promising silently that everything would be all right. Months passed, and something unexpected began to grow alongside the careful plan. Charlotte found herself watching Ethan interact with Noah, noticing the patience in his movements and the way he listened with his whole body. Ethan saw Charlotte not as a powerful executive, but as a woman who had built walls so high she had forgotten what warmth felt like. Their shared purpose slowly softened into respect, then something more dangerous and beautiful. When complications arose during the pregnancy, fear stripped away all remaining illusions. In hospital corridors filled with antiseptic and prayer, they confronted the truth that control was an illusion. Charlotte faced the possibility of losing not just her company, but her life. Ethan faced the terror of explaining loss to a child who had already lost too much. In those moments, they were not CEO and security consultant, but two humans clinging to hope. The birth of the baby girl changed the shape of everything. She arrived small but fierce, her first cry echoing like a declaration. The legal requirements were met, the trust secured, and Aurora Biotech remained under Charlotte's leadership. But the real transformation happened away from boardrooms and headlines. Charlotte stepped into motherhood with awe and fear, guided by Ethan's steady presence. Noah gained a sister and a home that felt fuller than he had ever known. Life did not become perfect. There were awkward conversations, public scrutiny, and nights when doubt crept back in. But there was also laughter in the kitchen, bedtime stories read by two tired adults, and a sense of family built not by tradition, but by choice. Ethan learned that accepting help did not make him weak. Charlotte learned that love could coexist with ambition without destroying it. As the years unfolded, the story that had begun as a desperate condition became a testament to resilience. The company flourished under leadership softened by empathy. Noah's health stabilized, his smile brighter than ever. The little girl grew surrounded by honesty, knowing her story was unconventional but rooted in courage. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that hope can appear in the most unexpected places, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your engagement helps stories like this reach others who might need a reminder that they are not alone. Before the ending, please comment and tell us whether you believe family is defined by blood, by choice, or by love that refuses to give up. In the end, the city lights still shimmered, the world still moved too fast, and life remained uncertain. But in one home shaped by sacrifice and second chances, a single father and a once lonely CEO found something neither of them had been looking for. Not a deal, not a condition, but a future worth fighting for.